Deborah Palmer was a 7-year-old girl who went missing from Oak Harbor, Washington on March 26, 1997. That morning at 8:35 a.m., Deborah's 11-year-old cousin stopped by her home to walk her to school, something they did every morning. However, her cousin revealed that Deborah had been upset for unknown reasons. Deborah said she wasn't ready for school, so her cousin would have to walk without her. Deborah's mother, Madeline, who did not have a vehicle, sent a friend to deliver Deborah's lunch to the school's front office around 12 p.m. After this exchange, Madeline learned that Deborah had been marked absent from school. Her unexplained absence prompted an immediate investigation with local law enforcement, as well as emergency responders and volunteers. Media crews arrived at her Kettle Street apartment to report on emerging developments, and bloodhounds scoured the area for her scent. For your reference, I have provided a map showing the immediate area surrounding Deborah's home. Deborah was described as kind and an average child, but her strange disappearance uncovered such darkness and turmoil. Teachers, friends, and schoolmates had no idea just how unstable Deborah's upbringing had been. An upbringing that involved a mother who admittingly prioritized a partying lifestyle over her parental obligations, an estranged father who at the time was serving a 33-month prison sentence for unthinkable offenses, and her mother's boyfriend who was recently jailed for committing heinous acts to a child. 4 days after Deborah was last seen, searchers located her red jacket with colorful stripes and her orange Esmeralda backpack obscured beneath foliage in a wooded region near Taylor Road. The next day, Deborah's remains were found by a local walking the shoreline of Strawberry Point. Her remains were tinged with seawater and pinned underneath a log. Forensics were unable to determine whether her remains had been staged there or had been brought there by the ocean tides. The beach was privately owned and surrounded by bluffs with no direct public access. 29 years later, law enforcement report that the circumstances of Deborah's demise and the motive of those responsible remain somewhat unknown. This case is Oak Harbor PD's only unsolved murder case, but the investigation has once again been made a priority by the department. Chief Dresker believes that advancements in mitochondrial DNA and touch DNA analyses can potentially result in case breakthroughs. Dresker further revealed that evidence has been turned over to Washington State's crime lab for analysis, and the results of this testing are still pending. Oak Harbor PD have made significant pushes to break open new leads as they work concurrently with the FBI and the Attorney General's office. They even organized for Deborah's case to be featured on Washington's Most Wanted television show. In addition, the state AG's homicide investigation tracking system has offered their specialized assistance with her case. Despite such collaboration, Deborah Palmer's death remains an elusive mystery. The case reports and documents at the department sprawl across 25 three-ring binders. A prior investigator carefully digitized Deborah's complete case files, streamlining their ability to track her case information and leads. Changes in staff over time have inhibited the continuity of care for Deborah Palmer's case, but Oak Harbor PD have not lost hope that her case will be solved. Overall, the department has remained somewhat tight-lipped, stating that they have not determined any suspects, but have interviewed multiple persons of interest. However, they have never identified either Deborah's father or her mother's boyfriend as suspects. According to multiple articles, although the coroner ruled out SA during the execution of the crime, law enforcement consider the crime to be motivated by SA in some way. This is an interesting fact which suggests to me that Madeline's boyfriend may have had a motive to make Deborah disappear, allegedly, of course. The coroner confirmed Deborah's cause of death was ruled a homicide by asphyxiation. However, the manner of death has never been released. According to the Whitby Times, local woman Maria Gonzalez has taken on the labor of maintaining Deborah Palmer's gravesite. Gonzalez didn't know Deborah or her family, however, she feels a deep connection to her. Gonzalez routinely brings toys and other trinkets to Deborah's grave. In an article, Gonzalez revealed that her niece's life had also been cut short in a tragedy, and like Deborah, justice has not yet been served. She recalled the memorial service held for Deborah at Oak Harbor High School decades ago, where so many locals expressed great sorrow and fear. She confessed that Deborah's loss tore a hole through the community for a short time, ushering in sadness and a sense of unease. She hopes that her visits to Deborah's gravesite bring her peace and let her know that she has not been forgotten. While Gonzalez remains dedicated to honoring Deborah's spirit, Oak Harbor PD remains steadfast in pursuing case leads and exhausting all investigative efforts. As of August 19, 2026, there is an active cash reward for any information leading to the arrest of those responsible for Deborah Palmer's demise. Those with helpful information may contact the tip line on oakharbor.gov, which is the first link provided in the description. This case stood out to me not only because it needs more awareness, but because it is similar to other cases of missing children. The similarities between Deborah Palmer and Adriana Jackson's deaths are eerie and saddening. These girls were close in age. They were both people of color. They both went missing while en route to school. Both went missing from Western Washington towns, which were very close to military bases. And both cases involved evidence located in wooded areas, situated near well-traveled roads. On screen, I'm showing the distance from Lakewood, Washington, where Adriana went missing, and its proximity to Joint Base Lewis McChord. Now on screen is the area of Deborah's home, which was her last confirmed location, and the distance from there to Strawberry Point, which is where her remains were found. And this is the distance from Strawberry Point to Taylor Road. Taylor Road is, of course, where her jacket and backpack were disposed of. Oak Harbor is a military town that is home to Naval Air Station Whidbey Island. The map on screen shows the proximity of the airbase to Deborah's home, as well as the location in which her remains were found. I also found some similarities between Deborah's case and Aisha Degree's case. Aisha was a 9-year-old girl who had allegedly gone missing while walking to school one early morning. Aisha's backpack full of personal effects was later discovered near a construction site. The backpack had been wrapped in several plastic bag layers and buried under the earth. It was suggested for a long time that Aisha had been abducted, and eventually her case was officially classified as a homicide. Very recent developments have been made regarding Aisha Degree's case, and I hope to cover it in the near future. The lack of leads and scarce information regarding Deborah Palmer's case resembles that of Summer Wells. Both cases have grown cold with an extreme lack of evidence and case breakthroughs. Both Deborah and Summer experienced unstable circumstances at home, which may have played a role in their case outcomes. The difference is people all over the world have heard of Dear Summer, but sadly for Deborah Palmer, her case did not make even national headlines. Likewise, Adriana's case lacks sufficient news coverage, and that's because missing people of color tend to receive less media coverage than their white counterparts. Typically, high volumes of news coverage result in better case outcomes, so I must note that it is quite peculiar that despite extensive coverage from the media and true crime enthusiasts, Summer Wells' whereabouts remain unknown to this day. Of course, all these similarities between these cases may purely be coincidental. I'm not necessarily suggesting that these cases are connected, but I am noting some pattern recognition. These similarities are probably more relevant to statistics and risk factors, but they are worth discussing. A comprehensive review of Summer's case is in my Season 1 playlist, and there is also an update in the Season 3 playlist. If you wish to learn more about Adriana Jackson's case, I covered her case and other missing Indigenous peoples' cases in a previous upload as well. Comprehensive reviews of missing Indigenous people are not so easy to construct because too often case information is not adequately documented. I pulled together a compilation of missing Indigenous people that explains the systemic failures tribal people experience when they go missing. On this channel, we tend to focus on communities that are underserved. If you have a case or subject you would like to see presented on the channel, drop a line in the comments. I'm open to suggestions and feedback. I hope you are well and safe. Don't forget to take care of yourself, and if you can, please share this video with someone you know.